Welcome to Good Morning Football Live at NFL Experience. We're here in Times Square. This is New York City, and it is Wednesday, August 15th. You know what that means? Whiteboard Wednesday is on the way. Kyle Brandt, what up?
Hey, what's up, Adams? How you doing?
What up?
What's up, Mizzou?
How we feeling, Peter Schrager?
That's where you went to college.
Yeah.
Gruden.
John Gruden. We're getting some love. People are excited for the Steelers and the Raiders because the Steelers fans are alive right
Is it not? But is it not crazy? I know the Steelers fans have lots of reasons to be, and we'll give them some in a couple of minutes, but Raider fans at 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. on the West Coast are tweeting you right now.
Yeah,
That's crazy to me.
Raiders fans are everywhere. You could look under this table, there's a Raider fan. That is how big Raider Nation is, and they are so excited for Gruden. I just hope it goes great.
Yeah.
Same.
Give me an air and F. That's what I want. Air and F.
Sink or
How we
swim,
feeling?
baby.
Feeling great.
You guys ready to go to L.A.?
We still got a couple more days of work here.
You're going to Los Angeles. Rams?
Raiders,
Raiders. Raiders, of course. Oh, my God, what a game.
Let's get it in.
It is. All right, we've got a lot to talk about, including the Steelers, so let's hit it. Time for the lead block.
Lead block!
All right, two major stories to get to this hour. Look at right now at Steelers quarterback Big Ben Roethlisberger in concussion protocol. This is him after he was, he ran in to tackle Marcus Gilbert. I don't know how this happened during practice yesterday. Big Ben left the field under his own power. That's what we know. Mike Tomlin had already confirmed he would not play against the Packers tomorrow. Josh Dobbs, Mason Rudolph, the third rounder this year's draft, they will get the snaps. Now, staying in the AFC, our very own Tom Pelissero has a great article up on NFL.com right now. I think everybody needs to check out, and it gives really a lot of insight into the Browns quarterback situation. He said, guys, basically that Hugh Jackson has no plans to even let Baker Mayfield take first-team reps at all this preseason. And then John Dorsey, he of Air Monarch and customized sweatshirt fame, also added this week that he does not envision a scenario in which Baker wins the starting gig this season. It's kind of shocking. Go ahead to NFL.com and check that out. Now, the Browns, I feel like they're confident in their quarterbacks, and they should be with what they've shown, with the hype, with the fact that they took Baker #1 overall. But let's talk about the concern with the Steelers and the other two teams having reason to be excited this offseason. Guys, who has the best chance this year with everything that's going on with the Steelers? Maybe it goes away, but who could, out of the other three teams in the AFC North, sort of maybe steal the crown?
I'll jump in first here. For years it was Steelers and Ravens. Then the Bengals had their moment, and then people got excited about the Ravens are going to be really good this year. The Ravens are going to be really, really good this year, and I don't know about their offense. I think there's some question marks on what they can do there. Their defense is loaded. Nate and I had a chance to do the preseason game, the Rams and the Ravens, and I know the Rams playing the number 2s. I was amazed looking at the talent at all three levels of that defense that they have. Brandon Williams might be the best defensive tackle in the league. He's up there in the conversation. He's paid like one. Terrell Suggs is as good as he's ever been. And we want to go through the defensive backfield. Marlon Humphrey, yesterday, Nate, you said Tre'Davious White could be this incredible shutdown corner in just his second year. Marlon Humphrey might be better than Tre'Davious White, and he's in his second season.
Yeah.
I look at the Ravens defense, and I don't know how teams are going to score points on them. They are so loaded. If they are healthy this year, the Ravens are going to compete not only with the Steelers, but with every other team in the AFC. They might be a dark horse to go to the Super Bowl. Their defense is that good.
I like that.
It was number 6 last year, so you're telling me it's better than that. I don't know how anybody's going to score against him.
And Hammer, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Marlon Humphrey, lowest completion percentage up against him at the cornerback position. Also, 34 takeaways, led the NFL. So that defense is for real. And you said you're excited about the defense. I don't know about the offense. I'll speak on the offense. Ravens' offense is fantastic. They have 3 quarterbacks that are capable and playing at a very high level, and 3 quarterbacks that feel like they can start. Joe Flacco's been doing it for a long time, Super Bowl champ, right? He's been knocking down that whole elite question for a long time. RG3, who at one point was the future of this league. Let's not get that twisted. Lamar Jackson, who believes he is the future of this league. And when we saw them in person, each of those guys made amazing plays. Not like pretty good plays. I'm talking about amazing plays in this game. They got the wide receivers that are going to step up, I do believe. The running backs were out there playing at explosive level. So this offense is fantastic. And when you look at what the Bengals have and what they can't do or what they didn't do last year, averaging around 280 offensively, that was the worst in the NFL. We know what the Browns are bringing to the table, and this was the previous Browns. I'm not going to label this team as the ones over the last couple of years, but until you prove it, until the Bengals prove that they can be a team to be reckoned with, until the Browns prove that all these new shiny toys are going to help them win games, I'm going to give the Ravens the shot right now to say, not only could they give the Steelers a run for their money, this could be their division running away with it, especially with the way, I know I said that the Steelers are built for success once the season starts. But if the Ravens start fast offensively and defensively, hit these guys in the mouth and get an advantage early in the season in that division, I don't think they're a team that's going to give it away towards the end of the season.
Top defense, underrated offense, explosive playmaker added in Lamar Jackson. I'm looking at John Brown. I think everything I've read and that I've seen out of if he can stay healthy, which has been the only problem and knock against him in the past few seasons, he'll make some big plays on offense. What's not to like?
We talked about that. They need that lightning strike, right? They need the fast strike. But the fact of the matter is no one's taking the crown from the Steelers. They're going to go 19-0. They have the best players in the league. They have the best coach in the league. They have the best fans in the league. No one can beat them.
I see what you're doing.
They win the Super Bowl every single
Don't
year.
do that.
They have nothing to worry about. I'm very pro-Steelers. I don't even think they have a game that's within 30 points. They're going to 19-0 in a runaway. However, I could be wrong. I should have put that out there as my own opinion. That's what I think is going to happen. Just to play devil's advocate on myself.
On yourself from earlier.
Yeah. This turned into a Ravens hype segment when it's really the only choice because I'm trying to make the case for the Browns and just maybe a couple of years from now. And then the Bengals just haven't done anything to blow my hair back. I just see Andy and I see Marv and I see them kind of right where they've been. I look at Baltimore and I feel like you're onto something, Peter. I feel like there's a storm coming. And we remember the era of Hines and Ray and Jerome and Ed, and it was like bricks and bats to take the field with. I think that Baltimore is that tough, and I think that Pittsburgh is that tough. Last year, it was a 39-38 game late in the season.
Up 11 with 3 minutes left.
They had Pittsburgh at Heinz Field. It was done. It was a wrap, and they found a way to blow it. That was that Ravens team. I think this is different. Flacco's health and the Ravens' physicality defensively, I think this is one of the best fights in the whole league this year.
KB, let me tell you how real the nostalgia was when we're watching the Ravens play the Rams. We're sitting there, and Flacco makes a play. And then all these offensive weapons make a play. And then we're like, man, this offense is all right. Defense comes along. And Terrell Suggs make a play. And we're like, T. Sizzle was out here making plays again, and not just one of those fall into the sack plays. I'm talking about hitting a guy with a move on the inside, next play, go outside, get the strip sack, and I'm like, this is unbelievable. If they can start to make themselves believe that they can recapture that magic defensively that we once feared, and that offense plays well, this could be not just one of the best teams in the division or the conference. It could be one of the best teams in the league.
They've got a cat on their defense named Matthew Judon. He came on our show.
Yep.
He was on our show. He made 2 plays in this game, and everyone that I know in the Ravens organization is like, watch Judon, watch Judon. Pass rusher. They just have this thing where there's levels and levels on the depth chart. 2 years ago, they drafted 4 defensive players to start the draft.
They were building something.
They never want to have an issue where their defense is a question again. And this year, the Ravens defense might be the best in the league. We're hyping the Ravens so much, and I think it's warranted.
Yeah, I don't think nationally they're being hyped very much. They're sort of sleeping, and there's a storm coming, as you say. I just like when that rivalry is a thing.
Me too.
When you have the Steelers and the Ravens going at it, ripping each other apart, it's a better thing for any NFL fan of any team in the league. All right, 2 of those AFC North teams are in action live on NFL Network this week. And we've got the Bills and the Browns at 7:30 Eastern. That's your Friday nighter. Then a quadruple header on Saturday. That's right, babe. We're watching football all day. Jags, Vikings at 1, Raiders and Rams at 4. With Nate and Peter on the call on NFL Network.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Stay home Saturday.
Happy birthday
Travis
to
Scott
Nate.
voices.
Hi, food.
Then it's Bengals and Cowboys at 7, followed by Seahawks and Chargers at 10. You can see all that action right here on NFL Network. Popcorn ready to watch these two?
Oh, baby, yes. And never mind, I don't mean the teams. I mean these two.
We
Michael
should come up
Jackson
with a
meme.
drinking game.
Okay,
For
I'll be
watching
on the floor.
two of them. How many times this one does this?
Every time Nate makes a pun,
A golf
I'll get my
pun?
stomach pumped. That's it, a golf pun.
Get my stomach.
That's it, call the R.
All right, the kickoff to the 2018 regular season is fast approaching. 2 of the biggest stars in the league hoping to be on the field. Let's start with Carson Wentz, guys. Will he be ready to play week 1 against the Falcons?
And that's what I felt really all offseason. Like we've talked about a ton. You know, that's been my goal. I think there's been really no secret that it's going to be close. You know, I mean, seeing where I'm at in camp and finally, hopefully next week doing 11-on-11, I think naturally it's going to be close. And ultimately, it won't be just my call or coach's call. It'll come down to what the doctors say, really.
All right, J.J. Watt also said there's no doubt he'll be ready to go week 1 against the Patriots. He's, of course, a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year winner. Carson Wentz would have probably been the MVP last year if he hadn't gotten hurt, both coming back from injuries to their respective contending squads. Guys, who has the better 2018? Is it the Eagles or the Texans?
I'm going to say the Eagles, but I'm going to say the Eagles because if you look at just the questions, if you did a scoreboard of who has the most questions, I think they just have fewer. Now, they have a very important one from Wentz, and I thought that was actually pretty compelling, those words, it'll be close, because all they've said from day one is doctors, 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 which he said as well, but it'll be close to me sounds a little perilous. However, the Texans also have the same question. I mean, they have the same quarterback question, plus the J.J. question, the merciless question, the how's Tyrann Mathieu going to work out question. Are they ready for big time? We know that the Eagles team is loaded. I also think there's a little bit of a myth about, man, it's so hard after the Super Bowl win to get back. there's been a lot of teams who go on to win a Super Bowl and are juggernauts the next year. Recently, I mean, Seattle beats the brakes off Denver. Awesome next year. We saw after the Giants beat the undefeated Patriots. Then next year they were incredible until Plexico did his thing. But I think the Eagles are the same way. Like, I don't think there's going to be growing pains or a hangover and they're going to cruise into 9-7. I just think they're too loaded. And by the way, if Wentz isn't it, then you have the Super Bowl MVP comes in. So I feel like they have all the boxes checked. I can't see it hitting an iceberg. I can't.
I'm going to say the Eagles because they're the better team. It's very simple to me. This isn't disrespect to the Houston Texans. They have talent, and you can also make the argument that Deshaun Watson, if he'd have played the entire season, could have been the MVP.
Maybe.
Just like Carson Wentz. But once you win that ring, from my experience with my friends that have that piece of jewelry, that Super Bowl championship, Lombardi trophy, and then that ring on their finger, there's two different versions. There's the guy that gets completely complacent, and then there's the guy that's like, I want more. I cannot wait to get there again. And I feel like that is this team. That's majority of this squad that they've tasted it. It's similar to, and this is kind of a weird analogy, but it's the only thing I could think of. It's when I got my first kiss.
Okay.
I was 5th grade, and it was a recess.
5th grade.
Yeah, shout out to Genevieve. And I got my first kiss, and I was like, I want more.
I like that.
I think I want another kiss. And it was every recess I was trying to find a corner to kiss her. So for me, it's this team. Every chance they get, they want that ring again. And this is a young team, a young, hungry team. And I feel like this isn't just a question, are they better than one of the other teams in the league? The Eagles are the big dogs. It's not the Patriots. It's not the Rams. It's not the hot Jags. The Eagles are the big dogs, and it's a big, hungry dog. So I got the Eagles going back to the Super Bowl unless something happens that changes my mind.
I just got something from our producers.
got?
But the guys out in LA and Culver, that they're doing a timeline. Where is Genevieve now?
Right.
NFL
Where
Films
are
is-
they now?
Where are they now?
Where
They're
is
catching up
she?
with Genevieve.
A
from-
football life. Nate Burleson in elementary.
Football life.
She runs Lions Blood Clothing. I hear she's
That's
great.
it. She's all the one seed.
I think I had my first kiss still well into high school.
right.
Is that crazy?
No, the 5th grade is
5th
impressive.
grade?
So the
I
sixth
mean, what are
grade?
we talking about here?
That was my first French kiss. My first regular kiss was 2nd grade.
I had to be. That's crazy. Anyway.
The
What?
Texans were
keep it real.
4-12 last year, guys.
Yeah.
Eagles won the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm not crowning the Texans yet.
So is this a disrespectful comparison?
Yeah, this is insulting to the Eagles.
Oh, I'm
Wait,
sorry.
Peter, you're Mr. Vikings, right?
The Vikings are going to win the Super Bowl, but the Texans were 4-12 last year. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. So I get it. They're getting a lot of players back and the Honey Badger and all this stuff, and it's great on paper, but I need to see it before I can even put them in the conversation with the defending Super Bowl champions.
Now, I kind of felt
I need to see Genevieve. Never mind that. I need to see Genevieve.
Genevieve, where are
She on
you?
the book? Come on, what's her last name?
I don't know. I kind of felt the same way.
12.
As Kyle was talking, I said, this is disrespectful to the Eagles. But then when you think about it, Deshaun Watson, fantastic player. DeAndre Hopkins, some say, is the best receiver in the league. They got running backs, surrounding pieces to those guys.
Yeah, it's a ceiling conversation.
Yeah.
No. J.J. Watt, Whitney Mercer.
They have a lot of
Honey
great
Badger.
you're listing players. That's great.
I'm not just listing players. I'm listing Pro Bowl players that are talented. So
Make the case.
if
You
you're
said
going,
the Eagles. Make the case.
I know.
Kissed in
To
fifth grade
say
was
it's
a player.
disrespectful to the Eagles, I don't think so. I do feel like you can make a case that the Houston Texans, when healthy, think about it. J.J. Watt was the scariest man on the planet just a few years ago.
potential is
He gets
crazy.
banged up, and we all forget fast food football, right? We want the next meal. Deshaun Watson gets hurt, and we forget what he did in those 7 games. Will Fuller scores 7 touchdowns in, 3 or 4 games?
Four
All
games.
these pieces that could get you thinking, could this be one of the best teams in the league?
That's true.
Yeah, so the question isn't crazy. It's just the fact that I got so much faith in the Eagles versus the Texans.
I would pick the Eagles because clearly everything you guys said, but also because the Texans, I want to say they're a complete team. They're a talented team. They are getting J.J. Watt back. Is J.J. Watt going to take them from the 32nd ranked defense? Guys, I think nobody understands that they were the worst
last.
defense in the league last year. Is he going to take them up to the top 5? Is he going to take them to the Eagles level in
gotta stay
a
healthy
year?
first.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's my question, and that's why I give the nod to
Which JJ?
the Eagles.
And it's also-
no, which JJ, but you can't expect him to turn a defense from 32 to 1.
Well, I think it's which JJ too, because this is 2 years in a row now he's been injured. So
Yeah.
I hope he's the great JJ, and I hope he takes him up. I would just say the Texans get all those players, but the Eagles also get Darren Sproles and Jason Peters,
Michael
and Mike
Bennett.
Wallace and Michael Bennett.
Jordan Hicks and
Yeah,
Jason
they're
Peters.
juggernauts. They're
Yeah,
juggernauts.
they're juggernauts.
All right, we're talking about Patrick Mahomes quite a bit with our guest, Jeff Schwartz, but just Sammy Watkins, he's on.